Hello, and in this video essay, we're going to talk about recruitment drives during World War I in Canada. During World War I, Canada was one of the major powers involved in the fighting. One of the major factors that was necessary for Canada's success in the war was recruitment drives. Recruitment drives helped to increase the replacement rate over the casualty rate and in turn helped Canada win the war. They also gave men not in the country a chance to contribute to the war effort. Finally, recruitment drives gave injured war heroes a chance to recover, further contribute to the war effort. That is why recruitment drives were necessary for the success of Canada in World War I. World War I was the first ever large-scale war involving all of the major powers in Europe. There was over 230,000 Canadian casualties in the war. The casualty rate during the war was increasingly high. Eventually, the casualty rate went over the replacement rate and Canadian troop numbers slowly diminished. Prime Minister Robert Borden recognized this, and recruitment drives were established to enlist more men into the army. In the recruitment drives, propaganda posters were frequently used and convinced people to enlist. Many men were inspired and enlisted through recruitment drives, increasing the replacement rate. This meant the amount of men that suffered casualties could be replaced by new men. By inspiring men to enlist, recruitment drives helped Canada to win the First World War. It was a war of attrition, which means both sides had to keep fighting until one side couldn't fight anymore. Recruitment drives supplied Canada with enough men to outlast the other side and in turn helped us win World War I. That is why recruitment drives were necessary and beneficial for the success of Canada in the First World War. In the beginning of World War I, Canada's permanent army was extremely small. There was only about 3,100 men and a small navy division. By the end of the war, there was over 600,000 men and women that participated in the war. Recruitment drives helped to let Canadian citizens contribute to the war effort. The majority of the Canadian Corps were made up of volunteers. The reputation of Canadian citizens are that we are a united people. When the war began and the army went overseas, the remaining citizens would feel their pride as a Canadian diminished for not being able to contribute to the war effort. Recruitment drives gave Canadians an opportunity to show their pride and fight for what they believe in. Without recruitment drives, Canadians would not feel the same pride as they do today. That is why recruitment drives were necessary and beneficial to Canada in World War I. In World War I, there was over 172,000 men wounded in battle. They are regarded as war heroes for their bravery in combat. Many of the men wounded in battle would give speeches at the recruitment drives to encourage more men to enlist. Many men that returned home because of their wounds felt the need to further contribute to the war effort. For many, going back to the front was not an option due to their wound. Recruitment drives offered a solution. By giving speeches at recruitment drives and helping to run them, it gave wounded soldiers a chance to feel that they can still contribute to the war effort. During the war, there was about 10,000 Canadians that went through post-traumatic stress disorder. Going to recruitment drives and talking about their experiences helped them to recover from PTSD. For many soldiers, it was a sort of a therapy session when they talked at recruitment drives. That is why recruitment drives were beneficial and necessary for the success of Canada in World War I. All recruitment drives in Canada were an essential part of World War I. It made a positive impact for a better Canada by getting more men to fight the war. It gave men and women not in the army a chance to contribute to the war effort. Finally, it helped war heroes to further contribute to the war effort and to help them recover from their traumatic experiences. Without the dedication of the men working at recruitment drives, the war could have been prolonged and even lost. That is why recruitment drives were necessary and beneficial for the success of World War I.